Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. Today I want to show you once again this method of using grease pencil to convert it into something that you can sculpt. Okay, so I started with, for example, like this basic doodles of these dinosaurs, and then the next step I actually using grease pencil and grease pencil sculpt to turn this into some kind of 3D solid. You can see I reduced the grease pencil into just a couple of strokes, and then the next thing I did was to convert it into curve and then just bevel it, and then from curve I did the mirroring and I'm using convert it into mesh, and then I remesh it, and then I can do like a proper sculpting using Blender Sculpt. Okay, so there's a couple of steps there, but I think it's kind of fun to do actually. Like, for example, this is another example. This is, I started with just again grease pencil, and then this is the converted, this is the bevel curve based on this. And if I switch here and then convert this into mesh, and then I go to edit mode and then fill the hole, after I do that I can remesh this. So that's basically the step I want to show you. And once this is remeshed, you can start adding things like for some areas, for example, these areas should be like an icosphere, and this one can be like a cylinder. Just fill out the wireframe, you know. So let's start. Let's try something. So I deleted everything in the scene. Let's see what's to create today. We can create the dinosaurs. Shift A, grease pencil blank. And I want to show you something first beforehand. I switched to draw mode. And when drawing grease pencil, there's a couple of ways you can place the stroke. And I like to use a 3D cursor in this case, because with 3D cursor, that thing over there is very underrated. So basically, you can place the stroke based on that reference. If, for example, I set this to top view and I draw like a circle, so this circle is placed where the plane is on the 3D cursor. So this is the 3D cursor position. If I reposition this a little bit higher and I draw another circle, you can see it's placed there at the 3D cursor. So this is actually really super handy. Probably easier to work with if we, instead of using this front side top, we draw it on the view. I'll show you what I mean. Let's say you want to draw like a table. We are gonna split this into two view. With this one, I'm gonna go to the top view. We know that we are in the top view, and then 3D cursor is on the floor, so we can draw a circle. Okay, so I can lift this a little bit, lift it up. I can draw another circle. I can draw like an umbrella there, like wires. You can see it's placed at the position of 3D cursor, but we are also drawing on the top plane. So let's draw another one. For example, this is like some kind of table. Okay, you can see. So the placement, the 3D cursor is helping us to place the stroke, but also in this, we can switch to any view, and then we can draw the next stroke. We can place the next stroke, and we know it the stroke is gonna be placed correctly. And I was thinking to draw make like a dinosaurs, but I'm also a little bit creative today. I'll just make some kind of strange creatures. We can have more than 2 legs, I guess. So currently, okay, it's drawing like that. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go to the front view, and I know these strokes is gonna be center there. All right, so we don't stop there because this is grease pencil. Let's save this first. So GP Fu 001, like Kung Fu. Okay, let's go to edit mode. Let's do something here. You can select stroke like that, and then Command L. You can scale it SX, scale it in the X direction. And for example, the leg, okay, the leg part, we can move it. So every strokes becoming editable data if you're doing it this way. Okay, and then this thing over there, I don't know what this is for. Just gonna place it on the top, and you can always actually sculpt this if you want to. The bottom part, we don't need this anymore. So there's something that's looking like a creatures with many legs, or like a horse. Yeah, I think we can work from here. You can always, let's say we are done with this, we don't even need the 3D cursor anymore. You can mirror this. And this is a good start, I guess. You can start doing the sculpt if you want to, or you can, yeah, I think this is okay. You can just sculpt this. And let's see, let's try to reshape this somehow. You don't have to, you can just switch to the thickness. I like to use the thickness because it's just a quick way to add like a solid into your, kind of like a muscles into your creations, instead of just like a random strokes. Very strange looking dinosaurs, or like a Pokemon. Okay, it could be a monster. Save this again. Let's say I like this. I'm gonna duplicate it. Actually, I don't need to. Just right click, convert it into Bezier curve. Now we're gonna have Bezier curve. We can hide the grease pencil. So it's becoming a curve like this. But we can bevel it. 0.002, 0.007. Yeah, this is promising. Increase the resolutions. Yeah, this is our creature's character. There's an extra lines that we probably don't need. Just interesting. But we can move it to the side. We can rotate it. So if you are quite familiar with Blender, you can move things around like this. So we have like a 4 legs creatures with a tail. Yeah, this is a good start, right? We can mirror this, mirror in the x-axis. Cool. So I'm gonna save this. So this is like the first step, grease pencil, stroke. Second step is the curve that we mirror. I'm gonna duplicate this. The third step is the meshing. Right click, convert to mesh. Now it's becoming a mesh. Once this is a mesh, I go to edit mode and then just tap F, because we want to fill all the holes that's being generated by the curve. Okay, now we can hide this. We have the mesh. We can now remesh. Yep. Okay. So this is the starting point. We don't want the gap there, so be careful. Yeah. Okay. Something like this. I'm happy with this. It's a good start. We have some kind of volume to work with. We can hide this. Option G, we reset the position. Apply the remesh. So we can start here. You can start sculpting. You can start with something like a sculpt, and just, if some part is too thin, you can use this inflate. Enable the symmetry, so because you want to work in both sides. So now you can start adding some more muscle into your character while also smoothing some areas. So this looks like, doesn't look anything like legs or feet. You can start sculpting, adding the muscle that this character might need to do the walking. So it's looking like maybe like a spider or turtle. This part is looking really weird, but it can be anything. Okay, the tail can be quite thick, you know, because this is maybe like the dinosaur with a thick tail. This one also, this need to become like a fit. You can do the opposite, make it thinner. So inflate and deflate. This is the neck part. The neck probably needs to be thicker. And these areas, yeah, it could be something. So I'm gonna start drawing with the dynamic topology turned on. So now start the sculpting. And I just follow my intuitions, because this is like a kind of like a concept. With a concept art, concept creatures, you are really free to do anything. You don't have, maybe you have like a sketch of the character, but you are free to create anything. Maybe this character is a little bit like a capybara, a little bit friendly, or this could be like a camel looking. So this character could have like a hump. So I just reshape the character totally. But since we start with something like a volume, we already have pretty much like a shape. This leg part is kind of weak, but we can always reshape it. It's the bottom part. From the shape, looks like this character is a little bit like a crustacean, like a crab or something from the sea. So that it has the top part that's like a shell. I don't know, just free and use your imaginations. Let's save this into another file. I only use a couple of brush tool, but you can always do that. Like start with just a few brushes and then get used to the brush, and then you can start to use other brush later. This, you know, this. So there's like a shell, like the hard part of the shell, and then there's the softer part, like the tail. The tail looks really weird. We can always reshape it with grab It's supposed to be tail, and this part is like the harder part of is the shell of these creatures, and the leg part is really weird. But this gonna make sense because your sculpt will only looks really good near the end anyway, so it's okay. So it's like it's got something like a turtle spider with this really weird octopus leg. This guy have 8 legs. It's crazy. If you are sculpting with decimate, remember you can always change the resolution there. Oh yeah, be careful there. Be careful. I'm reducing the resolutions too much. But the using inflate and decimate at the same time can be very helpful to add like a volume. But you need to be careful not to reduce the volume like what I just did. Yeah, this is okay. This is the shell. I like the shell part. Let's use the scrape and just I want to have some more definition here. Oops, be careful with the dynamic topology. It's too sensitive sometimes. Wow, it's reducing too much. Maybe I need to increase this to 8. This is giving like a flatten. So maybe this, okay, let's smooth that and just giving some kind of flattening around some areas. That's like the hard part. So if this character is like crustaceans, like a crab, then the legs should be also a little bit like that, a little bit more convincing. The blob actually seems to be doing better job than the inflate. I'm gonna add some blob here. This is the muscle, the bottom part. The character try to protect just the inside interior of its body. And it's got this shell like turtle, the tail that looks like something really weird. Let's grab it. Elastic deform. Okay, I hardly use this. Very nice. See, this is very nice. Very nice tool. I hardly use it because I'm not a 3D sculptor, but I'm still learning. I'm learning Blender and 3D every day. This part I don't quite like, but anyway, just leave it like that, and maybe we can use snake hook and start to add details. Well, we are still reshaping this character, maybe not adding too much detail, but anyhow, I feel like adding this kind of spike for the tail. Look at that. Very cool. So if this kind of character have this kind of spike, then it's starting to look more solid. It's a bit like Koopa, actually. Koopa character from Super Mario also. The boss, Koopa. This part's looking weak, but we can reshape it. A character with a lot of characteristic. Yep. Yeah, there's definitely a dinosaurs that's looking like this. Nudge, rotate, elastic. I like the elastic deform. I have a feeling the character needs to have longer neck. Something about this that isn't right. If the character Yeah, maybe the volume of the body and maybe the proportion is not right. I can always stretch it. Yeah, the leg needs a bit of work, but we just continue. We can use, if we use clay, I think the clay can be handy for the inside of the body. It's adding detail. I didn't use any fancy brush, just this square looking layer inflate. Layer, okay, layer. What is layer doing? Blob. You know what I really like? Crease. crease and scrape. Sometimes it works really well, just to add all kind of details. Yeah. Anyway, for now, I'm just gonna draw details like that. Draw a circle around this. We haven't worked much on the face, so maybe use crease. Capybara, yeah, I like capybara. It's got this friendly looking face, a bit like rhino. Sculpting can take hours to complete. I'm not gonna be doing 1 hour sculpting, not on this video, but I may continue with this in my own time. But at least I'm showing you the process. So this started of course from just grease pencil. Now I'm just using the draw brush. The draw brush can do a lot, even though it's really simple. I'm using shift to smooth it, and then sculpt, and then also I'm using control just to add to brush inside. And this need some kind of eyeballs. For the eyeballs we might need just to use sphere. Just gonna leave it like that for now, I guess. Just grab to reshape the eye. This is the slot for the eyes. Just gonna draw. Yeah, I think this character has potential. Looks slightly weird. I think, yeah, the leg, I want the leg to be like more like a crustaceans, like crab, or even like insect, like a spider. This leg, okay, this leg. We definitely need snake hook. If we want to turn it into proper leg or something. I don't know, maybe maybe I don't need to do this, but I feel like doing this. Yeah, maybe not a good idea. I can undo that, leave it for later. Going here, we have a slot for the eyes. Okay, we have this. I think this is for the mouth. We have the nose part. Just smooth it, smooth, and then draw the areas as you feel. Flatten, I haven't used flatten much. If I use flatten, turn off dynamic topology, flatten, so you can flatten the areas. Flatten doesn't always work. You might want to use scrape. I feel like flattening this part. So look at it from all directions, and also use grab, and you can reshape your character until it feels more proportion, better proportion. Upside down, reshape the leg. This could be like a crab, like a crab hook. Like a claw. We can actually make a claw. Maybe I'll do that later in my own time. Okay, the part that's connecting the legs and the body looking really weak. Just gonna make like a ring around each and every leg. It's gonna make sense eventually. Drawing the ring, or like a donut around each and every leg. I think a study of anatomy will help you to sculpt better, definitely. Looking at the reference of creatures, real creatures and fantasy creatures, you're making your own creatures. The thing with the decimate, if you get closer, you can add more details. So and especially with this brush, you can add a lot of dots like that. Just add details. I haven't used like alpha or things like that. Alpha for the brush will add like a higher resolution detail. I'm not gonna do that. Starting to get somewhere here with our creatures. Yeah, I might continue in my own time, I guess, but yeah, I think this is remember how we started from just GP. I think it's starting to looks a bit better. Did I just drag that guy too far? This is the whole process, okay? From grease pencil, doodle, stroke, into this curve, into this mesh, into this sculpt. Let's look at the wireframe. Yeah, this is quite a nice detail. But you see the process, and just to get here, it's really fun way to do it this way. You can always use skin modifier also, or if you can also just use shapes. This is the preliminary process. This is the rough creations. I mean, maybe too rough. You could have draw something that's make more sense, like as a concept, and then you want to get into this 3D form. But it's faster to do it this way. Anyhow, hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in. let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.